This is quite possibly one of my favourite things that I've ever knitted. It's called a 10 stitch blanket, and we work with just 10 stitches all the time. And we started, or I started in the middle, and I think I started it here. Go up, turned a corner, went along, turned another corner, came round, and the work just grew by going round and by working these corners here. So what I'm going to teach you today is the short row. I love this blanket. It's the short row turn. So I've started with my 10 stitches at the bottom here, and I've already worked some of the rows. So you start by knitting 9, you slip the last stitch, then work back across the last 9 stitches. Then you work 8, slip the last stitch, you don't work it, work back along the 8. 7, 6, I've now got 5 stitches, no let's see, 6 stitches that I worked on my last row. So this time I'm going to knit 5. So it's the turning part that is important, that's the bit I'm going to show you. So I'm going to knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My last stitch here, I worked last time, I'm going to bring my yarn forward, I'm going to slip it purlwise and then take the yarn back. Turn my work round. These are my slip stitches now, I'm not going to touch those for a while. Slip that first stitch, which is the one we slipped on the other side, and then I've got 5 stitches left, so I need to take the yarn back because I'm knitting them, and I'm going to knit these 5 stitches here. And I'm going to carry on with this until I've got 1 stitch left, so you'll just have to excuse me while I take a few minutes to knit this. And again I've knitted 4 stitches, bring the yarn forward, slip the 5th stitch purlwise, take the yarn back, turn my work, slip it purlwise again, take the yarn back, knit 4 stitches. I've got a very loud clock ticking in the background, so maybe you can concentrate and just relax listening to the clock. I'm a strange person, I know. Just be grateful you don't have to know me in the flesh. Right, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 stitches this time because I worked 4 last time. To pull out some more yarn. 1, 2, 3. Yarn forward, slip 1, yarn back, turn the work, slip it, yarn back, knit 3. Now I'm going to knit 2, 1, 2, yarn forward, slip 1 purlwise, yarn back, slip 1 purlwise, yarn forward, knit 2. And now obviously I've come to the end. It's going to be knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, yarn back, turn the work, slip 1, yarn back, knit 1. Okay. Right, now I've got just 1 stitch knitted, so now I'm going to start working back across all these stitches. So I'm going to knit this stitch. Now I want to start picking up this one, so I'm going to knit the second one. The reason for all this yarn forward, yarn backwards is it stops us from forming holes. So I'm going to knit 2 this time, so I've knitted the last one that was slipped. I'm going to bring my yarn forward and slip the next one purlwise, turn the work round, slip it purlwise again, take the yarn back, knit 2. Turn the work round. This time I'm going to knit 3. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, yarn forward, slip 1, take the yarn back, turn the work round, slip it purlwise again, take the yarn back, knit 3. Next one, I'm sure you can see where this is going. Knit 4. So I'm knitting the 3 that I knitted last time, plus the one that I slipped last time. I'm going to knit that one. Need some more yarn. And then it's the yarn forward, slip the next one, yarn back, turn the work round, slip it, yarn forward, yarn back, knit 4. And we carry on until we get to the end of the row. But you can see here what's happening is I'm beginning to pick these stitches up, and it's created a corner of 90 degrees here. Okay, and it gives a nice neat join, and it avoids getting any holes. If you don't do the wrapping the yarn round, you end up with holes where you pick up the stitches. So this short row is usually worked when you're doing heels, when you're doing a heel turn on socks. I made the blanket before I knitted any socks, and so when I came across the instructions for socks, it made sense to me because I'd already done it once before. So if you want to make socks, I would almost recommend making a 10 stitch square where you can just work your way around by knit 10 stitches and practice the turn. You don't need to do a huge big square. 10 stitches is sufficient. It gives you the hang, you can see what it is you're doing, and it makes a lot of sense to do a little practice of something, of a skill that you haven't done before, if you're going to be doing it on something like a sock. Because if you get to you've done the foot, you get to the heel, suddenly you're confronted with this skill that you just think, and you may end up ripping the whole sock back, and then you get so frustrated. So if you can make sure that you understand what it is that's happening when you knit the heel, it's probably a far better way of practicing before you actually do the real sock. So I'm going to finish there anyway. So that's me. I've still got another 3 or 4, but you can see the heel turn, and if I can get the right corner on the blanket, there we go, you can see the same heel turn on the blanket here, and it's come right the way down this diagonal here that we've got these lovely heel turns, and it gives well, I have to say, this is the favourite thing I've ever knitted.